Witness Protection Program. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Lao Tzu. "2012. 5 days after we arrived, I became very sick. A high fever gripped me, and relentless sweats soaked both my clothes and sheets, while chills coursed through my body, and I shivered uncontrollably. For nearly a week I felt as though I was burning up from within, yet freezing on the outside, and my energy was completely drained. Eventually, I started feeling a little better. Addictions have a way of calling to us, even when we are sick. One night, feeling slightly more human, I ventured clandestinely onto the balcony to indulge in some organic tobacco I had brought from Panama, a treat that proved to be both a delicacy and a bad decision. Upon returning to my room, waves of nausea swept over me. I guess smoking tobacco was a bad idea, I thought to myself. I'm probably still too sick to stomach it. I started to feel worse. Standing in my small bathroom, I had the sensation that the world was spinning. The room seemed to close in on me. The walls warped and twisted as dizziness overtook me. I tried to steady myself by gripping the sink, but my legs gave out and everything went black. I came back to consciousness, sprawled on the ceramic tiles next to the toilet, wedged awkwardly between the shower, sink, and washing machine. It felt as if I had just woken up from a profound slumber, and it took me a moment to remember how I had gotten there. I touched the back of my skull gingerly and felt a large bump. It was a miracle I hadn't cracked my head open on the hard tiles, but it was throbbing from the fall. I crawled back to bed on my knees, each movement slow and deliberate. I was afraid that I had suffered a concussion and wouldn't wake up. Imagine the kids waking up to find their mother a corpse lying next to them. Oh my God, stay awake, I thought. Then I scolded myself. Smoking when you're sick will only make you more sick. The next day, the school manager accompanied me to the hospital in Xi'an, a city an hour away. Feeling utterly miserable, I lay on the grass outside the hospital building while she finished the check-in process. Every moment felt like an eternity as I battled waves of weakness and disorientation. Once I was checked into my room, she stayed with me, sleeping on a couch to help translate for the doctors. In my utterly confused state, I couldn't have managed without her. Doctor shuffled in and out of my room, wheeling me away for tests, then bringing me back. Amidst the medical procedures, the details eluded me. They administered fluids and medications through an IV, and after 5 days, they released me without providing a definitive diagnosis. The mysterious illness I had suffered remained unnamed, and in my mind, I called it the Pack 80 boxes, move all your belongings into storage, except that your man is sleeping with your close friend virus. It took me several more weeks to recover, and I wondered whether a part of this was due to the rigorous treatment I had undergone. The initial 3 months in China felt like a foggy dream. Fortunately, the other foreign students stepped in to watch over my kids while I emerged from the darkness. My second encounter with China proved to be even more intense than the first. When I finally felt well enough to train, I joined the others for roll call in the mornings at 8:15. Olivia and Emily had established their routines. Emily joined Natasha, engaging in banter and waiting for the whistle to signal the start, while Olivier meandered slowly to line up with the Chinese kids. The sight of him left me feeling a bit embarrassed. One pant leg was casually folded to the knee while the other descended to his ankle. The cuffs on his sleeves remained unbuttoned, and he nonchalantly slipped on his kung fu shoes without bothering to tie them up, wearing them like slippers. His strategy seemed to involve waiting until someone shot him a stern look, or better yet, got visibly irritated. Then, with a casual shrug of his shoulders, he innocently said, "What?" I dismissed these thoughts as soon as I spotted Joe, a charming Kiwi man my age. His room was next to ours, which meant we shared a wall. Joe had an undeniable appeal, and I had a substantial crush on him that had quietly taken root, though I kept my feelings to myself. Every time I saw him, my heart skipped a beat, and I found myself drawn to his easy smile and warm demeanor. "Well, it's nice to see you out here again, young lady," Joe said to me with a grin. I loved it when he called me young lady. His New Zealand accent gave the words a playful lilt that made my heart flutter. I sighed heavily, trying to keep my voice steady. "Yes, I am finally feeling well enough to train. I was certainly wondering where you had disappeared to," he said, his brow furrowing slightly. I blushed, feeling a rush of warmth spread across my cheeks. "I didn't mean to worry anyone," I replied softly, touched by his kindness. "Well, we're all glad you're back," he said, his smile returning. "I missed our little chats." My heart swelled at his words, and I felt a flutter of hope. "Me too," I said, a shy smile tugging at my lips. "It's good to be back." "Take it easy today, though," Joe advised, his tone turning more serious. "Don't push yourself too hard." "I'll try not to," I promised, appreciating his compassion. "Thanks, Joe." "Any time," he replied, giving me a reassuring nod. "Let me know if you need anything." As we gathered our swords, fans, whips, staffs, and various practice weapons, I silently hoped that Joe would walk with me to the temple. I longed for more moments like this, where I felt as if we were the only two people in the world. But as he struck up a conversation with another Australian man, I fell into step with some of the other foreign students. The brief exchange with Joe lingered in my mind, making my heart race and my crush on him grow even stronger. The stroll to the temple provided a pleasant transition from the morning into the training session. While I listened to the others' conversation, I couldn't help but steal glances at Joe, wishing for the day when I might have the courage to express my feelings. For now, I cherished these small interactions and the way they made me feel, and I appreciated the distraction from the sadness I felt after leaving Pierre. When we arrived at the temple, my immediate focus shifted to regaining flexibility. The medications they prescribed during my hospital stay had left my tendons as rigid as boards. Each morning at the temple, we gathered near a low wall for a stretching ritual known as the chin-to-toe stretch. As the name suggests, it involved placing your foot on the wall and bending forward to touch your chin to your toe. The crisp morning air bit at my skin as I struggled to lift my leg onto the wall, my muscles protesting with every movement. My attempts were humbling, and a sharp pain shot through my stiff tendons each time I tried. The road to reclaiming my physical strength mirrored the broader process of recovering from the difficult truths life had thrown my way with Pierre and Audrey. My body ached with each stretch, and the sensation of the cool stone contrasted with the burning I felt in my muscles. "Shifu isn't going to believe I've been practicing every day," I lamented to myself, feeling a twinge of embarrassment as I struggled to bend forward and stretch. "I can't even reach my knees," I grumbled, learning a hard lesson in tucking my ego away. Over the next few weeks, my body gradually loosened up and my flexibility returned each day. I felt a little stronger and a little more capable, and the pain of stretching became a familiar friend rather than an unwelcome adversary. The crisp morning air no longer bit as harshly, and the stone wall began to feel like a supportive companion rather than a daunting challenge. As I settled into life at the school, I playfully started calling our stay in China the Witness Protection Program. Here, nobody knew my name, my origins, or where I lived before. It was a place where I was free to reinvent myself. The anonymity allowed me to shed old identities and expectations. It was liberating to be unburdened by the past, to be seen for who I was in the moment rather than who I had been. I played with the prospect of creating a new identity. From that day forward, I decided I would be whoever I wanted to be, unapologetically. I let go of my old nickname in favor of a new one, and Leia was born. I aspired to be a princess who fought to save the galaxies. "I just have to survive China first," I sighed. This reinvention wasn't just about physical transformation, but a deeper internal shift. I learned to embrace discomfort as a catalyst for growth. The unfamiliar routines and difficult conditions forced me to confront my limitations and insecurities head on. Each day was an exercise in humility and perseverance. Living by the mantra, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, made more sense than ever during my time in China. I began to see the value in every hurdle I faced. They were not just obstacles blocking my way, but opportunities to build resilience and character. The Witness Protection Program, as I fondly dubbed it, was less about hiding from the world and more about finding myself in it. It was a chance to strip away the layers of pretense and rediscover my core strength and purpose. In this place of anonymity and challenge, I found a surprising sense of community and connection. We were all there together, stripped of our pasts and united by our common goal of self-improvement. This shared purpose fostered a special bond among us, one that transcended language and cultural barriers. It was a reminder that, despite our differences, we were all striving toward the same human ideals of growth, understanding, and self-mastery.